Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do Bleach Chapter 527 review. Now, this week's chapter of Bleach, alright? A very simple and a very straightforward chapter of Bleach. Part 1, Unohana dies. Part 2, Kenpachi can finally hear the voice of his Zanpakuto. Part 3, the test that Uetsu gave Renji and Ichigo. Renji passed with flying colors. Ichigo failed and is a quote-unquote poser Shinigami and gets kicked out of Soul Society. I believe so. I think so, at least. Like, he got sent somewhere. And then Uetsu has his final words to Ichigo, which he can't obviously hear. No shit. But he notes that Ichigo has to start from the ground up. And notice how you got this far, combat-wise, without receiving recognition from the Asauchi. So, and that is pretty much the entire chapter right there. That's the chapter. So, that being said, alright, and if you're wondering, yeah, I got a cold right now, so my voice is gonna crack. It will crack at some point. Like, I'm gonna be like, yeah. My voice is gonna crack at some point. Actually, it probably is right now. I don't care. Fuck it. We here. So, that being said, alright, part 1. Unohana's death. I'll be honest. Right? I'll be very honest. I didn't give a flying fuck. I didn't care. Her character, throughout the entire course of the series, was built up to propel Kenpachi's character even further. That's it. Okay? That's it. Throughout the entire course of the series, she had no push. She wasn't mitigated. She had no push. And when Kubo decides to give her a push, he mitigates the fight between Kenpachi and Unohana, like I said in last week's chapter review. And at the same time, the push itself wasn't even that good. The flashback between Kenpachi and Unohana was lacking. To say the least, it was lacking. And her character scheme, because of the lack of flashback, because of the because that the push wasn't good enough that Kubo gave her, and because her character was built up because her character was built up to propel Kenpachi's character even further, her character is lacking. So when she died, I didn't care. I did not care. I did not care at all. Not only that, but her Bankai is still a fucking mystery. Her Bankai is it's a fucking, like, question mark. What the fuck does your Bankai do? Like, seriously, like, we don't know. And people want to say, well, you know, it was a dream world. Like, what the fuck? A dream world? Since when? We don't know what the fuck it did. Listen, if you're going to say that because we saw Kenpachi's face melt off, I told you. Symbolism. That was pure symbolism. There is no evidence. There is no evidence that her Bankai put people in the fucking dream state. Like, no. There is no evidence of that. It's basically, okay, Bankai, bam, stance, Minazuki, blood, oil bubbling, like whatever it is. And then, you know, next chapter, stab, dead. So we don't know. So right there, I'll give it a bad. Because no, that part was bad. It was bad, bro. It was like, her character, like, I didn't care. I did not care whatsoever. I just did not. I did not. So that's part 1. Part 2. Good. Listen, man. Listen. Yo. Finally. Actually, the main reason why I give it a good was because when we hear the Zanpakuto talking, we see like a miniature flashback of Kenpachi facing off against the former Kenpachi, the 10th Kenpachi, who was a quote-unquote slacker. He was lazy, you know, yada, 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 according to the Turn Back the Pendulum from Hirako. So We see him. He's like, who the fuck you supposed to be? And then he's like, Kenpachi. Zaraki. Kenpachi. so like, that was good. That was good. I'll give it a good, right? And finally, well, no, I mean, like, there was a cliffhanger with, you know, with the Sanpakuto saying, you know, I am ... We don't know who he is yet, so we'll find out, but whatever. Right? But the thing here is that Kenpachi, this will now accelerate Kenpachi's growth as a character even further, because now he's gonna learn his Shikai and maybe even a Bankai, pushing it, but maybe. I'm not too sure. I don't think so. I really don't, but whatever. We'll see where that goes, right? But then again, his Shikai, his Sanpakuto is already in Shikai form. So that would mean that he has to learn some techniques of that shit and then go to Bankai. So he has to learn or master his Shikai now in this short amount of time before you are back and the boys come back. And then he can learn Bankai after that. I mean, he won't master Bankai because, you know, according to Byakuya, it takes like 10 fucking years to do that. So, yeah, him learning Bankai, I don't see it. I mean, unless like we have unless we have like Yorichi come down there, right? We have Yorichi come down there, and she says, you know what, here, do the same shit Ichigo did. All right, fine, fair enough. But you know, whatever. So that's number 2. I'll give it a good. Right there, we have one bad, we have one good. That's okay overall. Now, part 3. That surprised the shit out of me, yo. Part 3 was shocking. Renji was good enough. Ichigo wasn't. I was like, what the fuck? Like, yo, like that, I was like, what? Like, yo, because the thing here is that it makes sense. Like, surprisingly enough, it makes sense, alright? Renji is a Shinigami in full. He is a Shinigami in full. He has spent the time actually training his Sanpakuto. We saw him able to materialize Zabimaru, and then he learned Bankai from there. He took years. We saw him in the past training with Madarame, Ikaku. So he's taken the time and the years to dedicate his life to his Sanpakuto. He understands what it means to put effort and work the Shinigami way, the true blue Shinigami way. That makes sense. But fucking Ichigo, no. He cheated. In order for him to attain Bankai, he cheated. That's number 1. Number 2, at first his Shinigami powers were voice. Fuck. Hold on, wait. Fuck. Alright. Listen. At first, his powers were given to him by Rukia, right? Rukia. Okay? So, even his beginning stage of Shinigami were from someone else. I mean, granted, you could say, well, yeah, because, well, at some point he got his chain cut off. We know, like, he got his soul chain cut by Byakuya, and then he had to regain his Shinigami powers. However, the fact remains that his starting phase was still Rukia. That's number 2. All right, number 3. He has more powers other than Shinigami. First of all, he's a fucking human. All right, I mean, he's a human. Number 2, he has Quincy powers. Number 3, he has Fullbring powers. Number 4, he has Hollow powers. God damn it. He's a mix of all this shit. And the Shinigami side, I've said before and I say it again. The Shinigami side is always going to vie for power against the other sides that comprise of Ichigo's combat scheme. Remember, at some point, the Hollow side was taking over the Shinigami side. So, in essence, he's not a true Shinigami. He's not a true Shinigami, and he will never be accepted by the Asauchi until he does what Oetsu says. Work from the ground up. Go back to your roots. Find out what the hell you truly are, and then go from there. So, that was great. That was great. In my opinion, that was a great part. That really was. It shows you Ichigo. It shows you the true essence of Ichigo's combat scheme in an indirect method. That does. So right there, the rating for this chapter is going to be good. Overall, good. It was a good chapter of Bleach. So I'm done. King Lightning. Be sure to, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe as always. Subscribe as always. And I'm signing out. I'm dying here. Peace. Have a nice day.